Ontario's Residential Tenancies Act gives landlords and tenants various rights and responsibilities and also affords renters many protections. But there are some situations where the RTA's safeguards simply don't apply, even if you're paying rent.
I don't believe the phrase roommate agreement appears in the RTA.
Benjamin Rees from South Etobicoke Community Legal Services explains that roommates of a leaseholder are not covered by the RTA because the Act states that a person cannot be both a landlord and a tenant in the same rental unit at the same time.
That means that if anyone signs a lease and becomes we call them the capital T tenant under the Residential Tenancies Act, and they have those rights that they get from that law, if they turn around and make an agreement with other people to move in with them and maybe pay part of the rent, part of the utilities, whatever, that agreement can't be covered by the RTA because that would make the tenant also a landlord in the same unit.
Rees says the deal between a leaseholder and a roommate is a simple contract, and there is no law requiring a notice period to end it. Any disputes cannot be taken to the landlord and tenant board. They have to go through small claims court.
We make contracts all the time when we buy things, when we rent things, but you don't get the same special protections that the RTA offers. So it can break down much more easily. People can be kicked out or removed much more easily under those types of contracts. And if you're the tenant and your name is on the lease, you're on the hook for the entire rent. And so, you could also be left holding the bag if you have a roommate who says, you know what, I'm moving, I'm leaving tomorrow.
The RTA also doesn't apply in certain circumstances when the tenant lives with the homeowner.
The Act doesn't apply to you if you are required to share a kitchen or bathroom with the owner, not a property manager, not a superintendent, but the owner or the owner's spouse or either of their parents or either of their kids. So that has to actually be the arrangement when you move in. You can't be living somewhere and all of a sudden the owner of the property says, guess what, I'm moving in, and now you've lost all your rights.
But once again, the tenant is free to move out whenever they choose or can be asked to leave without notice.
The owner can call the police and say, I don't want this person here. And then you sort of have the same status as if you crashed on a friend's couch for the night and then overstayed your welcome the next day.
On the other hand, those renting a single room in a multi-room home do have protections under the RTA, even though the Act doesn't specifically mention rooming houses.
You'll find separate sections for certain kind of retirement care homes. You'll find separate sections for mobile home parks, but nothing about rooming houses.
We've got more on tenants' rights in that situation on our website, citynews.ca. Dilshad Burman, City News.